2005. I had traveled to Arizona to start working for a brand new company called Varsity Gold. It was a fundraiser company, and they were going to train us on how to run fundraisers for elementary and middle schools so that sports teams and different departments could earn the money that they needed for their yearly budget. This meeting was amazing. It was the first time I had ever traveled. It was the first time I ever been on a plane. I'd ever really been far outside of Louisiana, outside of like Houston, Arkansas, that kind of thing. And I had gotten to Arizona, and we had some of the most amazing training. It was doing this thing that I absolutely despised doing at the time called role playing. But we had a week long of role playing and leadership training and just really amazing stuff. And part of that process were these books that they gave us. One was called 212, which is the boiling point of water, and the other was called The Dash. And I've held on to this book ever since. And the premises of the book is that on our gravestones, there are going to be two numbers, our birthday and our death day. And in between those two numbers is this little dash. And that dash represents everything that we've done. Every accomplishment that we've had, every failure that we've had, every person that we've touched, every person that we've hurt, everything that we did or didn't do, every place that we went is all represented in that little dash. That small mark on your gravesite will represent everything that your life's work comes down to. And the idea is, what do you do with your dash? How do you make your dash count? How do you make sure that your life matters? I remember having a conversation with one of my staff members at the church that I'd worked for early in my ministry. And there was a minister there that was one of the assistant pastors, and he used to be the youth pastor before my time. And my staff member that was working with me was one of the youth that were under his leadership. And they used to talk so glowingly about how this man left such an impact on their lives, how he touched their lives, how he left an impact, and that though he maybe didn't realize it, they really were influenced by his leadership, by the relationships. And I remember having that conversation and saying, that's what I want. When my time is up here, when I'm done being a youth minister, when I've moved out of this ministry, I just want the young people that I've come in contact with to look back and say, he mattered. That moment in my life, those interactions, that period in my life left an impact. It shaped me, it moved me closer to my God. And I just wanted my dash, my period of time in that ministry, in that church, to leave some type of impact. It's what we all want. We all want our lives to matter. We all want our lives to have some type of impact. No one just wakes up and goes, I don't want what I'm doing to matter. We want it to matter. We want it to count. We want at the end of the day that it's not just a check that was cashed. It's not just a thing that I purchased. It isn't just a thing, a trip that I made or an experience that I had, but I want my life to have value. I want it to matter. And the way that it matters is it impacts people around us. Paul is such a fascinating character to me. He writes his very last letter of the Bible, 2 Timothy. And here we can hear as he's just pouring his heart out. This is the very last time that he's going to put his feelings on paper. He's going to put his emotions on paper, the very last opportunity. I remember it was May 2014, standing in front of a youth group that we had built, that God had blessed us with an amazing staff, and we had a great building, and we touched a lot of lives. And I was giving my very last message, my very last opportunity to empower a group of young people to go forth, to accomplish the mission of their lives, to impact the people around them, to leave their imprint on their city, on their town, on the lives that they come in touch with. And I just remember when it was over, it was really like this reflective moment in my life of all of these amazing humans that I love deeply, that still today I remember their names, I remember their faces, I remember their stories, and they don't know how much they left an impact on my life and how much I still care for them. Of course, nowadays I follow a lot of them on Facebook, and I see their stories playing out, and all in hopes that somehow they remember some of the things that were done with the experiences that we had with them that left an impact, that some principles, some ideas, some of the God connections were sticky and stuck with them. And here Paul is doing the exact same thing. He's hoping that everything he's done with his life, it is coming to a close, that everything that he has accomplished, everything he's set forth is leaving some type of impact on his friend Timothy. And he's writing to Timothy to encourage him one last time to come and see him. Because at the end of our lives, The last message that we get to preach, the last thing that we get to do, the last accomplishment that we get to check off, it's all going to be about relationships. The relationships that we build in our lives are the things that matter absolutely the most. There's nothing that even comes a close second. We may not take our homes, our cars, our clothes, our stuff with us, but we will take the relationships with us into eternity. And here Paul finds himself being very reflective. He knows that he's on trial. It's not going well. He's in prison again. People had begun to flee from him. And he starts this letter off by saying, Timothy, I love you. Like, I'm so filled with joy and excitement and love and just like fulfillment and peace when I think about you. And this comes from your grandparents, your heritage. Like, Timothy, you have such a great heritage, and I got to pour into that heritage. I got to build upon that heritage. And Timothy, I love you. And Timothy, I really want you to come and to see me. And you should know, Timothy, they all left. Paul was alone. Paul was in this prison all by himself. He had been in prison. The trial's not going well. And everyone that had followed him, everyone that had helped him, had left him. And here Paul finds himself alone with one last opportunity to leave a charge to Timothy. And the message was simple: endure. Endure, endure, endure. This bike behind me has taught me endurance. My wife got this bike a few months ago because we wanted to get into cycling. Running is just so hard on the joints and the knees. We want to figure out a way to still get exercise in, but not be in the Louisiana heat, not beat up our knees. And so her answer, a bike. And so 6 days a week, I find myself right here in my room on this bike, just trying to do what Paul told Timothy to do: endure. Just endure this lesson, endure this ride, just get through it. And one of the hardest things I found to do is you actually have to stand up on this bike and keep your revolutions up while you continue to do your workout, and it kills the legs. But just in the small time that we've rode this bike, I've noticed the differences. You start to see the changes in your body. You start to feel better about yourself. Your body begins to release all of these chemicals that make you enjoy the moment. You start to make healthier decisions. You start to feel better, have more energy. You start to see your body physically change. These are all those benefits, but you first have to endure. And Paul tells Timothy, God's grace is going to be power, and you're going to need that. You're going to need that grace. You're going to need that influx of power, because it's going to take a commitment to enduring, a commitment to something bigger than yourself in order to see your life matter, to see your dash actually count, your dash to leave an impact on the world around you. Because Paul is like, Timothy, my time is coming to a close. This isn't going well. I've ran my race with joy. I need to hand this off to you. You have to pick this up and continue the work that you've been called to do, the work that you're already doing. And in order to do that, it's going to take endurance. It's going to take endurance like a good soldier, a soldier who pushes through the military, who does all of the things that it's asked you to do. It's going to take like being an athlete that puts in the work when no one's watching, that puts in the work when everyone else is sleeping, an athlete that trains his body, makes healthy eating decisions in order for him to be able to have full endurance at his race. It's going to be like someone planting a seed. It's going to be like someone harvesting a crop. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tedious. It's not going to be easy, but in order for you to get the prize, in order for your life to matter, you've got to be making a commitment to do the work, to stick to it, to make it count, because hardship and sacrifice are actually just as much of a foundation of the Christian life that we've chosen to live as promises, blessings, and abundance that God has given us. These hardships, these sacrifices create a space where God's strength, God's love can shine through our lives, because faithfulness comes at a cost. Even Paul says, Timothy, if you're going to die with him, you'll actually live with him. If you endure with him, then you will reign with him. There's something about pushing through just like Jesus Christ did. He was in ministry for only 3.5 years on this planet, making an impact in our lives for only 3.5 years, all so that he could endure the cross. Because, man, he had to endure it. He was just as much human as you and I, and it stunk. It was not easy. It was not fun. There was nothing easy about it. This man endured the cross like a criminal to pay the price for you and I. and his love, his faithfulness, his strength. It is all available to you and I if we are willing to sacrifice, to push through, and to endure, to accomplish, to make our dash count, to make our lives matter, and to live the life that Jesus Christ has called us to live. And in his last message to Timothy, his last message that we have in the Bible, this mighty man of God, this man who wrote a majority of our New Testament, who left such a powerful impact on the new church, the New Testament church that Jesus had established, this man's last message was all about an enduring faith that pushes through, that seeks God in every aspect of their lives, that makes their life matter and count. And as Paul begins to wrap up his letter, it all ends with one thing: relationships. He says, Timothy, I really want you to come and to see me. Come see me. I need you to come and be with me. My life is coming to a close. Things are coming to an end. Winter's coming. I need you to grab my jacket. Bring me my jacket. Bring me some of my personal belongings that were left when I was arrested and taken to this place, and come see me. Come see me one last time. I want to hold you one last time, because at the end of our lives, when it's all said and done, our relationships are the only thing that are going to matter. The relationships that we have with the people that God has placed in our lives, those are the only things that are going to matter in every aspect of what we are. Not how much we've accomplished, not the titles that we accomplished, not the money, the 401k, the investments. None of that is going to matter at the end of our lives. It matters now. It should matter now. Our lives are going to be impactful, and that comes through accomplishing things. It doesn't mean that we don't try to accomplish. It doesn't mean that we don't try to get things and get resources so that those resources can flow out of us. We can bless other people. But if we're going to take that next step, if we're going to go even deeper, we have to realize that those things are not the things that leave lasting impact. It's the stories that are told. Once they write your 2 dates on your tombstone, when they write that little mark that we call a dash, when that little mark averages all of the things that your life stands for, it's the stories that are told after that. It's the things, the memories that live on after you. It's the life lessons that were taught by you, the funny stories, the experiences, the memories. Those are the things that leave a lasting impact on the people around. And here we find Paul just yearning to be with Timothy one last time. And I feel like what God is trying to say to us, what he's saying to me in this, is endure, push through, do something different. Don't try to fit into the boxes that you see all around you. I've called you to be different. I've put things inside of you that ignite a passion, things that you feel like no one else understands. No one else gets this. No one else gets what I am so passionate about. And so maybe it's me. Maybe I'm broken. Maybe I'm the one who's off. And the truth is, you're not. These are the passions that God has put inside of your life. This is how you make your dash count. It's not fitting in. It's not fitting in some, cardboard cutout of what a Christian is supposed to look like. It's to leave an impact, to make a difference, to start that business, to build relationships, to make your life matter. And that is only going to happen when we endure, when we push through, when we make our life matter, when our dash actually counts for something that was touching the lives of the people that were left after us. And I'll close with this last thing. I love how Paul ends this letter to Timothy with these hopes and these dreams that Timothy will get this. They'll grab Paul's stuff. They'll grab Paul's friends. He'll come and he'll see Paul one last time, and Paul will have the warmth of that embrace, the warmth of that relationship, the joy, the love that comes out of Paul as he thinks about his friend Timothy. He says this, he says, I want you to avoid the youthful things, the things that you think you're supposed to pursue, the things that everyone else is supposed to pursue. He even calls out a guy. He says, this guy actually left because he actually wanted those things. He loved those things. Like, avoid those things. And instead, he says, I want you to pursue faithfulness, love, peace, righteousness. I want you to pursue these things and pursue the people who are after God's heart. Because Paul is like, Timothy, I know that this is it. And because this is it, I just want to be with you one more time. I just want to connect with you one more time. I just want the warmth of our relationship one more time. And Timothy, I'm handing this off to you. I've ran my race. This is the end of my journey. I've done everything that I can possibly do. I'm pouring into you one last time. And I want you to go pursue people just like that. Just like I had a relationship with you, I want you to go build those relationships. God is constantly putting people in our lives, whether they're small, minute, insignificant touches that we have at a grocery store, a gas station, at a restaurant, with a waitress, with a doctor, or maybe it's deeper ones. Maybe it's your neighbor, maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's someone who lives in your house, a son, a daughter, a mate, a family member. We are constantly surrounded by relationships that give us the opportunity to go deeper, to pursue after the love, the peace, the comfort, all of the great things that come out of those relationships. And those only happen by enduring. My bike friend does not turn itself on. It doesn't roll the pedals for you. It doesn't remind me that I have to get on here outside of just being in my room, and I see it every single day. Instead, it only brings me benefit if I get on it. If I start to pedal those things, if I endure workout after workout after workout, not just a week's worth of workout, not a month's worth of workout, but constantly living a life of enduring. And that endurance builds up this resiliency in our lives that allows us to experience the love, the mercy, the grace, the power of Jesus Christ in our lives. Build the best relationships possible. And as you build those relationships, as you endure the tough times of those relationships, as you endure pursuing after people, you will find that you are experiencing God on deeper and deeper levels, because we experience Him a lot of times through the relationships of the people around us. I pray that's been a blessing. If it has been, do me a favor, hit the like button, come subscribe, come on this journey as we experience the best relationships possible for our lives, the ultimate relationship being with Jesus Christ. And as always, until next time, God bless. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to learn more about Home Church, visit our website, homechurch217.com. There, you can fill out a connect card to let us know your story. You can fill out prayer requests or baptism requests, or even learn more about our in-home worship gatherings. You can also see how you could donate to support this ministry if you'd like to be a part of the journey of Home Church and what we're doing to help people experience the best relationships possible, with the ultimate relationship being with Jesus Christ. If you'd like to learn more about me and my consulting services, both leadership training and content creation, visit my website, natelejeune.com. There you can learn more about me, see my personal content that we put out so that people experience the best relationships possible, ultimately experiencing a relationship with Jesus Christ. So come and hang out with us and be along for this journey. Until next time, God bless.
Yeah.
Smash that like and subscribe.